Hello, Frostbike. My name is Jason Windsor. I'm the marketing lead at Retail Toolkit, and today we're going to talk about open-to-buy planning as a way to dial in your inventory purchasing and get your inventory under control and making money for your store. If you have any questions about anything you hear today, I'm actually in the chat and can answer those questions for you in real time while you're watching. So what is Retail Toolkit? Retail Toolkit is a software platform made especially for independent retailers like bike shops. In Retail Toolkit, stores just like yours are using our tools for sales analytics, inventory management, staffing and scheduling, email marketing, and customer rewards. Bike shops that use Retail Toolkit see huge performance gains in profitability, in revenue, and in customer satisfaction. Their customers visit more often and buy more with each transaction. One way our bike shop customers do this is with inventory management planning called Open to Buy. That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I want you to meet Jake. Jake is a high school senior and a NICA racer, and Jake and his family have just moved to your area. He's been mountain biking since he was a kid and is competing in his first race tomorrow. He's not used to the cooler weather there and needs a pair of wind-blocking gloves today. He saw a pair he liked on YouTube, and he and his dad have come to your store to see if you have them. He walks right past your clearance section and goes straight to the gloves and can't find the pair he wants on the shelf. He finds a salesperson, and that salesperson tells him that the gloves are normally in stock, but they're a big seller, and while you've had them in the past, you currently don't have any on hand. He offers Jake another brand instead, but Jake knows what he wants. He thanks the salesperson and leaves your store empty-handed, and he and his dad sit in your parking lot and order those gloves online to be delivered next week. So what went right? Well, first, the salesperson was really polite. They were available and professional. The store looked great. The shelves were clean and the product was displayed well. Your friendliest cashier was working and was in a particularly good mood. And none of it mattered because Jake couldn't find the gloves he wanted when he wanted them. When a customer's desired items are out of stock, 41% of those customers end up finding it online or at another store, and only 15% opt to wait until it's available. Out-of-stock items can impact your annual sales by up to 4%. And overall customer satisfaction has taken a hit of at least 2% since 2015. The percentage of customers who say they expect better from their favorite retailers is 46%. And that's a lot of people who simply aren't finding what they need at your store. The top three things that customers consider when making a purchase is first, price, second, product offering, and third, convenience. For a brick and mortar store, convenience is essential because there's no delay between the time they want to make that purchase and the time they have it in their hand. But having those products on hand is a huge balancing act. If you have too much of something, it's tying up available cash that could be used to purchase inventory that performs at a higher pace. It's taking up valuable space on the shelves and in the back room and in a warehouse, and after a while it ends up getting marked down and put on clearance, and then it can't earn any money for the store. But if you don't have enough of something, obviously that can result in lost sales. It can require you to replenish that stock quickly with higher shipping costs, and it impacts customer satisfaction and hurts customer loyalty and reduces foot traffic. Repeatedly being out of stock can also mean that retailers become more reactive to their inventory needs rather than proactively planning for the future. So here are the three ways that customer-centric merchandising are the keys to profitability. First, greater store profitability comes from higher gross margin return on investment. We'll talk about that in a second. Higher gross margin return on investment requires increasing inventory turns. And improving turns is a result of effective open-to-buy planning. So first, let's talk about what is gross margin return on investment, or GMROI. This is a way to indicate how much you're getting back for every dollar you're spending on inventory. Gross margin return on investment sounds complicated, but it's really not. The way that that's calculated is by dividing your gross margin by your average inventory at cost. The final product is basically how many dollars back am I getting for every dollar I spend on inventory. So if you've doubled your money on a product, your GMROI would be $2 for every $1 you spent. This is a great way to measure inventory performance and see how your products are moving from the warehouse to the floor and out the door. To see why GMROI is so important, let's conduct an exercise. Take a look at these 4 departments. We have 4 departments that have very different sales figures, very different gross margins and different average cost of inventory, but see if you can figure out which one is the highest performing department in the store. When we run a GMROI calculation, we can see that actually Department D, even with its lower sales and lower margin, is performing at a much higher rate because we're earning $2.32 for every dollar we're spending on inventory in Department D. Sales and margin alone can't tell the entire story of a product success in your store. Understanding GMROI is key to gathering information about which products, categories, and departments are moving product through your store and bringing in revenue for the business. So how did Department D earn that higher return on investment? It did so by having a higher number of turns. So what are turns? A turn is a ratio that measures how quickly a store is selling through its inventory and needs to replace it. This is important because it shows which products attract consumers and drive sales. The longer an item stays in your store, the bigger the hit on potential revenue and profits you can expect. The faster you turn your inventory, the more inventory you'll need and then eventually sell. Turns are calculated as the cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory at cost. For example, annual cost of goods sold might be $100,000 with $50,000 in average inventory cost that would result in a turn of 2, meaning your inventory turned over twice during the year. As the turn rate goes up, the return on investment goes up exponentially, meaning that the higher turns you experience in a year for a particular product or category, you're experiencing a lot more profit from that category or that product that can be folded back into the business. So more turns result in higher profits, even if the sales and margin for that department or category or product are lower than others. But that sounds great. How do we improve turns? One of the most popular ways to improve turns is with a strategy called open-to-buy planning. This allows retailers to calculate in real dollar amounts how much merchandise they need to purchase at a given time to meet sales projections. Modern open-to-buy technologies use historical sales data and powerful algorithms to forecast inventory levels necessary for retailers to purchase the right products in the right quantities at the right time. Open-to-buy planning means for every category or product, we create a range where we plot a target amount that a retailer should have on hand at a given time and compare that to the amount they have on hand now. Open-to-buy technology will take a look at sales from the previous year and trends from the last 30, 60, or 90 days to determine a target amount that a store should have on hand at a given time. Because no prediction is perfect, a range is created around that target amount to create a minimum amount you should have on hand and a maximum amount you should have on hand. Anything below the minimum, and you're not going to have enough to satisfy the demand of your customers. Anything over the maximum, and it's tying up cash and hurting the return on investment that that product could be earning. But it's important to go deeper than just looking at the store level open-to-buy range or even department or category. We really need to be able to drill down to variants like colors and sizes to make sure we're buying the right quantities of those too. Let's look at this example. Here we see that the recommended quantity on hand range is pretty wide, from $500 to $2,100 for this entire category. Currently on hand we have $1,200, which means we're okay. We're within the range between the minimum and maximum, so we should be fine. But without being able to dig deeper, we may not see opportunities to fill in needed items or mark down items we're overbought on. For example, if we look at the different colors of this product, we can see that we're actually overbought on black and underbought on indigo blue. But even within those colors, the different sizes might not be within range. Small black gloves are actually way overbought, and medium black gloves are underbought. Whereas small indigo blue are underbought, and medium indigo blue are okay. We wouldn't want to buy more of something we're already overstocked on. So being able to see down to the size and variant of each of these products is key to understanding what we need to have on hand and what we definitely don't need to add to our order. Open-to-buy planning can also be used for stores that have more than one location using something called inventory balancing. This is a way to move product from one store to another depending on which stores might have too much of something and which might not have enough. This way the stores that are understocked wouldn't have to put in a purchase order and spend money on additional product that another location might have too much of on hand already. So open-to-buy planning sounds great to understand what you already have on hand, but what if you're about to make a big order? Our product can run your purchase orders through our open-to-buy system before they're even placed and compare what would happen if that purchase order is filled. Would you be then put overbought, or are you not ordering enough? and then can make recommendations of changes to that purchase order to get all of the products in it within range. So being able to closely monitor GMROI and turns and inventory levels and implementing an open-to-buy planning strategy can give your store a much better idea of your inventory needs so that you can make smarter purchasing decisions, keep the merchandise moving through the store, and sell more of the products your customers want. So here are some questions you need to ask yourself about your inventory management system. First, does it manage your inventory in real time? Second, can you use sales history to impact how you make your purchasing decisions in the future using things like GMROI, turns, and cost of goods sold? Does it feature open-to-buy planning with powerful algorithms that learn over time and dial in those targets tighter and tighter? Can it analyze your purchase orders before you even place them to make sure that you're ordering the right amounts? Can it use historical trends to forecast for the future? And can it tell you exactly which products have become aged and are tying up cash in your system and need to be marked down? So what about Jake? Well, this time Jake and his dad come in for shoes and you have them in stock. He easily finds them on the shelf. He takes them to checkout. He grabs a few high margin impulse items and makes a mental note to shop again soon. Here are a few of our bike shop customers talking about how Retail Toolkit has helped their business, and we want to help you too. If you'd like to learn more about our platform, visit retailtoolkit.com/frostbike. We'd love to answer your questions about how our platform is helping independent bike dealers just like you. Thank you so much for watching. And again, I'm in the chat answering questions about open-to-buy planning and anything else our platform can offer. So feel free to hop in there and ask. And thanks to Frostbike and U of Q for hosting us. Have a great day.